What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Where do I begin? So I just watched HBO's Bradley versus Vargas. It was a good fight, so shout out to both competitors. And in this, I'm going to give my post-fight, and I'm going to tell you the good, the bad, and the ugly. If you want some one-sided bullshit, then click off the video, because that's not what you're going to get. Now, as a fight, this was a fun fight. And I don't know if it's the Desert Storm curse or what exactly it is about Timothy Bradley, but a lot of his fights always have some crazy, out of left field type of reaction or decision. You look at the Pacquiao fight, I personally thought it was closer than a lot of people gave it credit for, but I had Pacquiao winning that first fight. Then all of a sudden, he wins that fight. Then you look at his last fight with Diego Chavez. I thought Timothy Bradley beat Diego Chavez. Chavez showed heart and made it a little bit closer, especially with the swelling and the headbutt. But I still thought Bradley won that fight. And then it was a draw. And in this fight, Timothy Bradley I thought he was dogging and pretty much dominating before the 12th round. So I have to isolate the 12th round and talk about that separately. Before that, I had Jessie Vargas winning 1 to 2 rounds. 3 is really being generous. So it was not a shutout, but if you look at it up till the 11th round, from round 1 to round 11, Timothy Bradley's best rounds were far more definitive than Jessie Vargas's best rounds. That's how I saw the fight. I think Jessie Vargas's best round, aside from the 12th round, was round 2. I thought he did some pretty good work. But the problem with this is the bad for Jessie Vargas. To me, throughout the fight, rounds 1 through 11, again, I'm going to talk about 12th separately. Rounds 1 through 11, I didn't see that plunge to be great, where he wanted to assert himself and really dig down deep, like his new trainer, Eric Morales, has showed you in his fights, classic fights with Barrera or Pacquiao. I didn't see that drive. He looked discouraged. He looked beaten. And he was allowing Timothy Bradley to walk him down, being the shorter man, out jabbing him, load up and land these big, huge rights. Timothy Bradley just showed more of an arsenal throughout 11 rounds. Just too much of an arsenal. Body shots were looking good. Now, the bad for Bradley, as much as I gave him more of the rounds, gave Vargas like 2 rounds, Bradley was looking kind of vintage Bradley, but a little less defensive minded. He looked wild, but it was successful because Jessie Vargas wasn't backing him down. So one bad thing is Timothy Bradley is considered to be a guy with a great resume. He does have a good resume, but he was fighting a little bit sloppy at times, to the point where if he was fighting Pacquiao like that, a guy with some speed and pop, then it would have been ugly because he was just winging shots, loading up on every shot. And the thing that I don't understand with Timothy Bradley is he continues to make fights harder than they need to be. Provodnikov showed you time and time again he can get outboxed, but he fought with a chip on his shoulder, like, I'm mad, I'm getting death threats from Pacquiao, let me go guns blazing. And then you continually see this Bradley, like, when will you learn? Bradley, he's fighting like he's Gennady Golovkin on the power scale, you know what I mean? And he's like loading up on shots, and it was working, but it also leaves you open for counters, you know what I'm saying? So I have to question. I like Bradley, but I really question his decision making a lot of times. The Provodnikov fight, loading up on every shot in the Pacquiao rematch, and then just kind of how he was fighting like this. Like, you stole. I feel like, why would you press your luck that much? You know what I'm saying? You were fighting the wild thing, and we know Bradley, he's a brawler / he can bang / he can box. And you had taken the gamble without Jessie Vargas really being able to capitalize pretty much, and you took that gamble for 11 rounds, and then you keep doing it. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, eventually your luck is going to dry up, and that shit is not going to work. Especially Jessie Vargas is not really a person that I would consider elite. You know what I mean? But Bradley can't, like, you're supposed to be in the top of the welterweight picture. You can't fight Kell Brook and Keith Thurman and Mayweather like that and stuff like that. It's just, it's asking for trouble. So that's really the bad that I seen with Bradley. It's like, I seen him in an interview recently. I think it was on Dante's Boxing Nation, and he was basically saying, I'm going to fight for the fans and stuff. And that's cool to build excitement. But now, as a result, your fights all have this, like, asterisk, so to speak. Now, me personally, I think he has 7 seconds left, and Jessie Vargas hasn't had a knockout since 2011. So, I mean, we've seen Timothy Bradley in this predicament before, namely with Ruslan Provodnikov, a much bigger puncher who leveled Timothy Bradley and had to take a knee. So I have no doubt in my mind that, coupled with the fact Jessie Vargas is not a KO artist. Again, his last KO was against Walter Estrada in 2011. So I don't think Vargas had enough time to really get anything done. However, Pat Russell made a god-awful error, and he robbed Vargas of that opportunity to show us. Now it's a big what if. Now people are going to say, oh, Bradley, what if he was on his way to getting knocked out? And truthfully, we never know. This is all speculation on what would have happened. All we know is how things actually played out. You know what I'm saying? So we can't foreshadow. I feel I have enough factors based on history to gauge 7 seconds is not too much, especially when you're Jessie Vargas. You know what I mean? I do believe Bradley when he says he had some of his senses and he would have just held on for dear life for 7 seconds. And again, 7 seconds is not that much time. Now, this is the bad for Jessie Vargas. You wait to the 12th round to get your timing. Horrible. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Bradley was coming in wild, all sorts of wild. And this is the problem. I keep saying it on my channel. This is the problem with fighters who wait till the last minute to try to get things done. You know what I mean? Where's this miraculous home run Hail Mary in the 7th round? Then you might have been able to close the show, even though you haven't had a knockout since 2011. But time and time again, I'm seeing it where I'm not seeing the activity for the first 11 rounds. You know what I mean? I'm not seeing that hunger, that desire. Then when they have to go for broke, they go for broke, come close, but no cigar. You know what I mean? We just seen it last week with Adrian Broner and Sean Porter. Broner did nothing for the most part, you know what I mean, in the first 11 rounds. Then all of a sudden, you have this check left hook, knock Porter down. First person in Sean Porter's pro career to knock him down. But Sean Porter did the veteran move. He held, and he won the fight convincingly. You know what I'm saying? So Chavez Jr. did it versus Sergio Martinez. You were getting outboxed for 11 rounds. You had no answers. And then all of a sudden, you come out with this crazy punch, and you can't necessarily close the show. Now, again, it's going to be some controversy just because Pat Russell's old ass made an error and a poor decision. So ultimately, we'll never know what could have happened or would have happened. But that's the downside for fighters. You don't wait till the last minute because the time is not forgiving. The time, 3 minutes around, the time's going to keep going down. And you really literally wait till the last 15 seconds to get the timing down. So I think that was a bad look for Jessie Vargas. He wasn't, you were getting out jabbed by a shorter person. You were getting outworked. You didn't seem like you had the hunger for 11 rounds to be great. Some of the rounds at first, it was more competitive. And the other thing, I'm gonna make a separate video. HBO's commentary was horrible to me. Aside from Andre Ward, he did his thing, but just some of the comments, they were making this like this was a close fight. I didn't see a close fight at all. Now, obviously, with the controversy, we never know, and that added some element of mystique. But it wasn't a close fight at all. I literally gave Jessie Vargas up until the 12th round. I gave him like 2 rounds, 1 round, you know what I mean? And that was round 2 in another round. And again, the other round, other than round 2 and 12, they weren't definitive. You know what I'm saying? So I thought Bradley, he was wild and sloppy, and he almost paid for it in the 12th round. So it is what it is. I think Pat Russell, he might be a little bit too old to keep reffing because, I mean, I'd be pissed too if I was Jessie Vargas, to be honest. You know what I mean? Your only shot at redemption. I mean, he had a bit of saving grace because now he could tell everybody, oh, you seen what happened in the 12th and what if. But, you know what I mean? No fighter deserves to be robbed of a equal opportunity to try to get something done because a ref is deaf and old. And, you know, I'm not trying to clown old people. I'm just being real. Like, because he can't properly hear because the crowd's loud. You know what I mean? That I don't know. As much money as I think the refs get paid, like $40,000 or whatever they're getting paid for these fights, you can't make those errors because now Jessie Vargas is no longer undefeated, even though I don't think he should have been undefeated because I thought he lost another fight with Anton. But hypothetically, based on his actual record, he was undefeated. Now he has a blemish on his record, and there's a slight chance that he may have been able to get the stoppage. I don't think he would have, but it's not really up to me to decide what could have, should have, would have happened. All I know is he didn't get that opportunity. So it was a good fight. Bradley continues to make poor decisions as a fighter, as an elite level fighter. And it's like, when are you going to turn off? Like, and people always get mad at Floyd, but notice Floyd don't have rightful controversy in a lot of his fights. You know what I'm saying? The Canelo fight being a draw, that was controversy, but everybody knew that Canelo lost. If you watch the All Access, the one that won an Emmy, you even hear Canelo's team, and they're like, what? A draw? They're like, Canelo lost this. His own team said he lost the fight. So Bradley, he doesn't have the same luck. Some of his wins are questionable, or even his draws are questionable. He just has a string of bad luck. And some of it, I think he brings on himself, namely Jessie Vargas or Ruslan Provodnikov fight. Not fighting a smart fight. And the thing that makes me mad too is you have a trainer who's good, and he's telling you what I'm telling you in your corner. Joel Diaz did exactly what a trainer did. He said, yo, I don't want you to get it. He's like, Timmy, listen, you're winning the fight, but don't get too reckless. He kept saying it. And it's like, I don't know, StubHub, Vi, I don't know what it is, but Bradley continues to want to do whatever the hell he wants to do. And again, at elite level, you can't do it. This is a guy, you made Jessie Vargas shine a little bit in the 12th round, and he's not even a known puncher. You know what I'm saying? So I think Bradley, he needs to get back to what got him here, and that's making more sound decisions, better adjustments. You were doing the gamble stuff, fighting like Triple G, or like, you know what I mean, like your Brandon Rios and stuff for 11 rounds. Maybe you should be a little bit more cautious, even if you gave up the round. So I did have it where Vargas needed a knockout to win. 7 seconds left. There is controversy. Drop me a comment. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like my video as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego signing off.